Well, this is Steve Ridgel, and tomorrow my wife turns 71. It's Marsha's birthday, and I just want to take a couple of minutes and tell you some things you ought to learn from Marsha on her birthday. One of the things I love about her is she loves her family ferociously, and that's great. You know, you ought to really, I'm telling you, you ought to invest in your marriage, in your kids, even if they're grown. Invest time in how are you, and I love you, and I'm proud of you. Ask them about their day still. Ask them about their job. That matters. If your kids are still at home, you really need to invest your time now in your kids, not in you, in your kids. And I know everybody says, well, but you, no, spend time with your mate and your kids. That matters. And if you're a grandparent, boy, invest in those grandkids. Our five grands love Mimi. And it's because she spends so much time. She still does the things she did when they were little, and our grands are almost all grown. Youngest one's 13, oldest two are 18, and she still makes Easter sacks and little birthday things that are special and extra and above and beyond. So you spend time with her extended family. She spends a lot of time with her extended family. You do that. So love your family. That really matters. Number two, and I just got to tell you, I think this is a great thing to learn from my wife. She loves animals. She acts like she tries to tell everybody she doesn't, but I watch her. She feeds and grooms and takes care of our dogs. She feeds the cows. When I had that little eye stuff, boy, she went down and fed the cows and took care of that. And she likes to watch them, and she likes to watch the deer come up to the feeder in the field behind our house out at our ranch. And she just loves that stuff. And I'm going to tell you, you can't love animals unless you have a good heart. So you ought to take care of God's creation. So I think you ought to learn from my wife. Love your family, love animals. But here's the big one: love God and love Jesus. You know, we've been married 50 years, and you don't do that. Almost 51, by the way. You don't do that unless somebody really loves Jesus. You just can't make it through all that. You can't raise two kids. You can't help raise grandkids. You can't do all that without really loving Jesus, because life's hard. And if you don't love God and love Jesus, you just really don't have the resources to survive. Speaking of loving animals, here comes Remy to say how much he loves Mimi because she's the one that takes care of her. You know, I love my wife because she loves Jesus more than me, loves God more than me. She's always telling us it'll be okay. God's got this. God's good. God will take care of us. You know, I need to hear, I'm a preacher, so I say those things, but it's good to hear it from somebody who doesn't have to say it, but who says it because they believe it. So if I would tell you anything about my wife on her 71st birthday, it's this: learn these things from her. Love your family, love animals, love God and Jesus above everything else. So happy birthday to my sweet Mimi. I love her, and I hope God gives her many more years for her to serve Him.